Whoa!
How are you?
Doing good. It fades in and you got to fade out.
All brand new. It's all 2024 brand new.
Woo, woo, woo.
Like
I wish you could pull up pictures of the jackets that you're going to be wearing.
Oh, I'll show you guys. Are you guys ready? Okay,
yeah.
First of all, hello. Welcome to Drinks with Leaders. Oh, I like your shirt. I like your shirt. I want people to tell us, are you guys here? Are you watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube? And who did you see last night, the Super Bowl opening thing? Did you see those 49er fans?
Oh, when they booed Travis Kelce, I just saw it
non-stop booing, right? So who, and I've been crazy in the comments today because a big piece of my job is being on social media, right? And then that stuff pops up in my feed going, well, we're coming Thursday. Kansas City is coming Thursday, right? We don't have a 3-hour drive. So we're all coming on Thursday, starting on Thursday, I should say. So if you are headed to Vegas, let us know that in the comments too. So Scott is talking about, I got a couple custom jackets made. I'll be wearing this one in Vegas. And this was actually made by a local business, Spirit Lifewear. She is from Kansas City and she has been on the show before. So she's down off Johnson Drive. So she made me that. And then me and Brittany and Taylor, you might have heard of them. We had these jackets made. Theirs have their men's numbers on them. But the lady that made me that jacket is actually meeting me in Vegas, and she does all of Donna Kelsey's clothes. So I'm really excited.
Since everyone's showing their phones, we need to have our panelists, after we introduce them, show their phones. But my wife, she's amazing, and she's a very, very, I always want to say, can we curse on the show anymore?
No.
Okay. She's a bad
Mamma
jamma, just like Erin, and she does what she wants and tells me about it later, but we are getting a dog.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I love that. Do you have a name to tell yet?
We don't know yet, but she informed me about it. But you know what? When you're a bad mamma jamma, you can do whatever you want.
I love Julie. I love that she just keeps you in your place.
Oh yeah, you keep me in my place. So if you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, and you need people to check you, and that's why people tune into the show, because Bestway International allows us to do this and highlight great people, their brands, and the work that they're doing in Kansas City. Bestway International, if you're delivering anything a little tricky or a little hair on it, kind of like your co-host over here that doesn't follow the rules, they help you become compliant, and they deliver it just like they delivered much of the glass to the Vegas Stadium. So our sponsor in Kansas City delivered a lot of the glass that is in the stadium. There's a lot
of Kansas City ties to that stadium. It's really exciting. All right, listen, I can see a ton of you guys are watching. So let us know if you're watching. Are you watching Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn? Let's get amped. Okay, nobody cares about us. Should we bring in our guests?
The best music in the world.
Oh, this is the worst. I apologize. My goal is to get us better music. All right. So today, with two really exciting guests, our first guest is Meredith. Our second guest is Michael. Music is so bad, and I greatly apologize. Chris is here watching on LinkedIn. Thank you, Chris, for getting the comments going. Good afternoon to you as well. All right, I absolutely hate the music, but if you have not watched the show in 2024, it is fast and it is furious and it is different. We're going to put a clock on our guests. We've got a lot of questions for them. We're going to get through it quick. Both of our guests are tagged on LinkedIn, so you can go connect with them. They're both very exciting to connect with. All right, Meredith, are you ready? It's your first time.
I'm ready, yeah.
All right.
Let's
do it, Meredith. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Awesome. Well, I'm Meredith, obviously. Hello there. I'm from Wichita. So I came to Kansas City like half of Wichita does via KU. So proud Hauck here. After moving to Kansas City, I spent my career working in local government. So I am like kind of your local Leslie Knope. That's my jam. I've worked for a variety of cities around Kansas City as the assistant city manager. But now I am a consultant. So I had the chance to leave my job in local government in 2021 to move to Detroit for love. And I decided at that point I wanted to go out on my own. And so I started doing executive coaching and consulting, management coaching and consulting. And then I also went kind of rogue and opened a House of Color franchise. So I do color consulting as well, which is really fun. So obviously back in Kansas City now, love being here. This feels like home to me. It's great to be back around all my people. But yeah, I play in a lot of spaces. I'm a Reiki master, color consultant, you name it, I do it. I love a lot of variety in my life. So I'm really excited to be here with you guys today.
So if you're a dude and you're like, what is color consulting? Because I asked you about your business before the show, so we'll get into it. What's color consulting?
Yeah, so I use a process that's based in color science to figure out the colors that look best on you. So you don't really think about it in your day-to-day life, but if you think about The Office, you know how Dwight always looks so like yellow and kind of he's like swarmy looking? That's because he's not in the correct colors. And so we can use colors and the way we style ourselves as a way to convey who we are on the inside. So it's a really easy way to get by with wearing less makeup. You don't have to dye your hair. You instantly look pulled together. So it's like the easy button to just like nailing your image. So a big part of what I do, and I know a big part of what you guys do too.
What about your business is why so many people contact you in the government sector?
You know, I think working in the government sector obviously like gives you an into it, but from the consulting side, you know, in local government, it's hard to find good people to work in that space. There are some amazing folks who are working there, but you get burnt out after time. You know, I was there for 15 years and definitely ready for a break, especially after COVID. And so I love going back into organizations and helping support the folks that are there making the changes. You know, how can I help be an extension of your team? How can I help do team development and leadership? I run a framework that's called the 4 Tendencies that was actually developed by Gretchen Rubin, who's an author from Kansas City, to figure out how you follow through on expectations. So I can really just come in and help you put a fresh set of eyes on the team and figure out how to get from point A to point B.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, real quick, 5-second answer. If you had to work back in government for any city in the world, what city would you want to work for?
You know, I would say I'd probably go back to the city of Merriam. That's where I was last. And we had some really great momentum when I was there.
That was the first office space I ever had Lillian James in, was Merriam. And it was very pleasant to work with. All right, well, you killed it. You made it right to the 3 minutes. I love this. All right, Mike, you have been on the show before. I am echoing to some of these, so I'm going to play with a little bit of with the sound a little bit. So if you see me mute you, I'll unmute you when it's time to talk. Michael, you have been on the show. You have co-hosted the show, but you have never been on the clock before because this is brand new. Are you ready for this, sir?
That is a lot of pressure. I, Michael Mackie of michaelmackie.com, am a self-proclaimed media darling, and I'm going to need for everyone to refer to me as media darling moving forward. That is Michael Mackie, media darling. I've kind of had a varied career, but for the last year and a half, I've worked pretty closely with you two nerds at Lillian James, where I am a personal branding expert. So I have learned the nuances, the fine art of finding ways to, well, for lack of a better term, shamelessly, blatantly promote people without letting anyone know they're being shamelessly, blatantly promoted. Also, Meredith, before we get too far into me, I just want you to know that I've had my colors done and I went out of my way to go pick out this ensemble, and I'm going to need your 411 on it. Is it okay? Does it meet your criteria?
You know, I can't tell by just looking at you. You look very harmonious and pulled together, but I can't look at you and tell if something's your season or not. I got to go through the process.
All right, duly noted. Well, I'm a harsh winter, Meredith. That was my color scheme. Not just a winter, a harsh winter.
Okay.
And so getting back to personal branding, I joke that I have learned, and like, here's a perfect example. I worked with a chef I worked with a author, and I worked with a cybersecurity expert all in the same day. So I feel like I write in many different voices, and it's very schizophrenic, but no 2 days are exactly the same. It's always interesting to work with companies who want to promote their people, or perhaps solopreneurs or entrepreneurs who need a bigger online persona or a bigger online presence just to garner business or just get their name out there and make themselves put their authentic, best, genuine selves forward.
So, Michael, you've been a food critic, traveled the country, you've been on all the local TV shows, but sometimes people stop you, like they stopped you recently, because you are also on the radio. What is that project on the radio that you've been helping someone with that's become worldwide famous?
Well, let's say
National.
Kansas City famous. Anyway, Dana and Parks is the #1 local talk show here in the Metro, and there are hundreds of thousands of ears on that show. And yours truly, is the main fill-in for when Dana is gone or for when Parks is gone. And so it's very odd because I'm maybe on once a month, and it's shocking the amount of people. Like when we were at coffee the other day, Scott, somebody came up and said, "Hey, I hate to interrupt, but are you Michael Mackie?" And people recognize me by my voice, which is weird because I'm
and
not.
Michael lit up. He's like, "Oh
my God, of course I'm Michael Mackie." Yeah, that's exactly what I did. No, I didn't. Anyway, but I have 8 seconds, and I just want to point out, Scott, you look like you're at the helm of the Starship Enterprise. I am living for this background shot. 0.
Credit to Aaron Fulk for making me move.
Oh, well.
With his lighting.
He did come in with some pretty bad lighting, didn't he, guys? Okay, Woozy said, "It is great to catch you guys again today." Woozy, welcome back. All right, Meredith, you're up against the clock.
Okay.
Question, and I'll start the clock.
Meredith, what was the most pivotal moment in your career?
So I would say before 2022, it was when I decided to leave government. Like I said, for love, move to Detroit, open a franchise, go out on my own. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and so I chose government for the safety. I tried to go the other direction, but once you get that little itch inside you, you got to follow it at some point. So that was the big move. But last year, I had an even bigger shakeup. I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And so I had a year of cancer, actually a year and a half of cancer I had to get through. And learning how to do that while working, while running a business, while still showing up in a really authentic way and kind of bringing people along in the journey. That was, I think, the biggest, it gave me a lot of comfort during the process, but that was a real choice and decision to show up in that way. And it was a challenge a lot of times to get out there and tell my story when I didn't really feel like it. So that's the challenge. I hope that is always the biggest challenge I've ever have to go through again. And it's just downhill from there. But definitely learned a few things about change and resilience and how to get through the day from that experience.
That's amazing. Amazing. First of all, and I hope it's the biggest challenge ever. We do have an audience question for you. They said, well, we do love Michael Mackie, but question from Meredith, how much should one budget for personal consulting?
For color consulting, if that's the question. In Kansas City, I work with a company called House of Color, and a individual color analysis is around between $200 and $350. If you want to do style analysis with it, it's about the same. So all in, for under $1,000, you can crack your entire code about what looks good on you.
That's awesome. That's really
Wow. So on the consulting side for the government, who are your favorite type of clients and what do they look like?
Yeah, so I love working with teams. I primarily spent my career in government in 2 areas. I was a public information officer. I led community relations. So a big, interfacing, developing relationships, things like that. But my sweet spot is working internal to operations. So optimizing team performance, process improvement, creating systems, helping teams address the elephant in the room. One of the things that I think I'm known for is clear is kind. I say it a ton. That's a Brene Brown. It's not Meredith original. But it's really my philosophy that in the workplace, you got to say the thing that nobody wants to say. And often that doesn't feel great. And so I like to go in and teach teams how to do that in a way that feels compassionate, but also moves the needle forward.
I have a quick question on that. I'm assuming you have clients everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Is it harder, say on the East Coast, to get them to do that compassion versus the Midwest?
Not necessarily, because it's all about finding what feels authentic for the team. So I always say I'm not a feelings person either. We're not going to, have a kumbaya moment or anything like that, but we're dealing with people. And so we have to talk about feelings. We can't avoid it.
Got it. I love it.
My,
Right at the end that clock starts. Okay, Michael, listen. That's weird. Michael, listen. Last time you didn't even let me ask the question. So let Scott ask the question this time, and then the clock will start. Okay. He's hosted enough. He knows that first question's been the show the whole long time. But this is a new one. So Scott, ask your question.
what is the most pivotal moment in your career thus far?
Okay, fun fact. Not a lot of people know this, but like a decade and change ago, I about keeled over dead from a stroke. And not a lot of people know that. I recovered, and when I got bounced out of the hospital, I vowed that for the next year, I would not say no to anything, no matter what, because up until that point, I was kind of just sort of going through the motions of life. I was just sort of phoning things in, and I wasn't really living life. I was just doing things. I was just sort of phoning everything in, including my career. So my year of yes, every time I would turn around, a new opportunity, a magical opportunity that sort of fell out of the ether would fall into my lap. And old me, pre-stroke me, probably would have been like, I don't know, man, sounds like a lot of work. Well, once your brain explodes and you nearly die, well, it changes your perspective and your outlook on things. So I started saying yes to things, and I said yes to everything, including becoming the spokesperson for Hall's department store for a couple seasons, taking every sort of freelance opportunity I possibly could, which just got my name out there a little bit more, and then just blogging about my year of yes. So shockingly, my year of yes sort of put me on the map, so to speak. Not anything that I had ever done previously and very little that I've done since, but my year of yes seemed to really resonate with the blogosphere. And everyone was like, you had a stroke? Yes. Not only did I have a stroke, I rallied, I survived, and now I'm saying yes to everything because life is to be lived. And as we all know, no gets you nowhere.
On your journey when working with Lillian James Creative and then selling personal branding, do you talk to your clients about saying yes?
Oh, absolutely. Again, it's that whole adage where no gets you nowhere. So if you're hesitant, if you're uncomfortable doing something, that probably means you're getting outside your comfort zone, which is clearly where I needed to be, because if you're in stasis, you're just kind of on that hamster wheel. Nothing is going to change. Lather, rinse, repeat, lather, rinse, repeat, lather, rinse, repeat. So what I encourage personal branding clients is shake things up. If you've always wanted to do videos, well, let's do videos. If you've always wanted to have a website, let's make a website. Always wanted to do a podcast. Hey, what are you waiting for? So put your best, authentic, genuine self out there, and then just sit back and reap the benefits of seeing your name go supernova.
I like it.
I like that too. Fun podcast fact. I don't know if you ever share this, Michael, but we've talked a little bit about this at LJC. Something like 87% of podcasts. I hate that noise. I'm trying to do a video. 87% of podcasts don't have more than 8 episodes. So if you make the episode 9, you're already in the top 15% of podcasts. So to start that podcast, talk to Michael. That was a good leeway right there. Michael. All right, here we go. We're already on the last question. Audience, questions in here if you want to ask a question. Also, let us know if you're watching on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. Okay, are you guys ready? Are you ready? Meredith, what is your goal in 24, and how can the Kansas City community help you get there?
Absolutely. Well, it's funny, Michael, that you had your year of yes. I'm not quite to a year of yes, but as I was wrapping up my chemo treatment, I read a book that talked about your remission, not remission, but RE-mission. And so this is really my year of remission, and all the things that I've kind of been playing small in or not, doing to the level I wanted to do them in. This is the year I'm doing the thing. And so I am having so much fun already. I mean, it's just the middle of February, or I guess the first week of February, meeting other people who are ready to do the thing in 2024. So whether they have personal goals or organizational goals, I just am getting so much excitement and momentum from hearing about what everybody else is doing. It's kind of giving me steam to do the thing in my own life. So I'm up for connecting. I think my goal for this year is to just meet as many people, get reconnected to the scene in Kansas City, and, just start mapping out the next 5, 10, 15 years. It can only go uphill from that. So let's make it worth it.
So I'm a sales junkie and I like meeting a lot of people, but what specifically for government are there associations or places where you travel to meet a lot of your clientele or future clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some great local government organizations. I work with the International City County Managers Association in Kansas City. We have the Kansas League of Cities, the Missouri League of Cities. We have city management associations. Like if there's a group that loves an association, it's local government. So if you're in that space, you'll probably see me show up to one of your meetings, lunches, whatever, over the next couple of months. So if you're out there, please come say hi. I'd love to get to know you.
So are election years, do those affect your sales process at all?
Not really. So especially in the local government level, it's supposed to be nonpartisan. We know that's changing a little bit right now. But from a staff perspective, it's just kind of baked into the cycle of the year. So, there are election, time crazies and things can change depending on who's elected into office. But in local government, staff are the folks that make sure the work gets done on a day-to-day basis, no matter who's at the helm. And so my job is really to support them in their work. So maybe we take a little break at the beginning of April while things settle down, maybe in November. But otherwise, that doesn't really impact things much.
Do you see politics exiting local government, or do you see it increasing?
It's definitely increasing in local government. Before, if you think about like sidewalks, that's probably not a partisan issue. But as more and more folks are elected to local governments, to city councils, boards of aldermen, things like that, local governments are playing more in that political space. And so it shouldn't be impacting things at the local level, but I think the state of our world now, it just kind of is. So it's definitely something we have to consider.
I also think social media, like Gen Z and millennials are more tuned into their local government than ever before, right?
Oh yeah, they are.
That's played a huge role. Awesome. All right, Michael. What is your goal in 2024 and how can the Kansas City community help you get there?
Well, in 2021, I became a travel writer and I got on with the very prestigious Society of American Travel Writers after throwing my hat into the ring probably 3 times. So on the 4th try, I finally got accepted to this prestigious alliance. And I didn't do much traveling in 2022. I did do much traveling in 2023. Well, in 2024, I've gotten a few travel assignments to go check out various places. And I just got back from lovely Lake Charles, Louisiana, right before, just in time for Mardi Gras. And that was my first assignment for the year. So I am open. I'm manifesting more trips from local community and visitor, what are those called? CVBs, from local CVBs around the country. Mm-hmm. The more random and obscure, the better, because you know what? Hey, Butte, Poughkeepsie, Sheboygan, I'm talking to you. If you want me to come and visit and write about your city, I am game, because it is game on for back to travel writing in 2024, because I miss it and I'm good at it and I like it. And it's kind of a good little sidebar. So if you know anybody in those CVBs, people, Kansas City, because Visit KC is a lovely place. Kansas City is a lovely place to visit, but I've written about it ad nauseum. So it's time to spread my wings.
So when you think of the cybersecurity example, like everything you did in a day, what are some of the things you're doing to step out of your comfort zone to find those boring cybersecurity folks that need help on the personal branding side?
Cybersecurity is just one of the little one of the little industries that we're checking the boxes on. I also like to gravitate towards pretty much any company that wants to sort of finesse their brand through their people. E.g., here's a perfect example. Law firms who maybe have 3 or 4 junior partners who we all know are going to hit the corner office in about 2 or 3 years. But currently, those junior partners, they don't have any gravitas. They have no online presence. So my goal is to get them up and rolling so that when they do hit the corner office, they'll be good to go. Same with real estate companies or mortgage brokers or financiers, bankers. So cybersecurity is one little niche that we work with, but it's always fun when a company comes in and they have people that they want to promote along with their company. And because I always believe that you're going to get further ahead if your people are behind you 100%.
Yeah, if any audience members are listening, there's a group called Architects International Association. They're similar like the law firms that you work with, but I'm always curious if I feel like they would need a lot of personal branding.
Agreed. And we've worked with some architects. It's a very random mixed bag of clients we have at Lillian.
Chef, author, and cybersecurity. That's a Monday.
That's a Monday. Well, a Tuesday, but whatever.
Actually, I'm going to plug something right here. You guys will start to see it. You can reach out to Michael if you want the link. But we actually have a local businessman. We are doing events every quarter this year, and we're doing one. We have a local barber that has actually garnered over 115 million YouTube views. He has close to 1 million TikTok followers. He has like over 2 million followers across all of social media combined. And he's actually coming to talk about building a personal brand and using vlogging to grow your stuff on April 11th. So actually all the media is going for that out tomorrow. Tickets will go on sale tomorrow. So if you guys want tickets to that, reach out to Michael and he'd love to talk to you about personal branding and come check out our event so you can kind of get to know us. Meredith, clients are going to get tickets to come to it. So you'll be there as well. So it's pretty cool. There's some cool stuff going on in Kansas City. First of all, how awesome is this that both of you guys are freaking survivors? Like I think I knew the stories individually, but to have you guys both on the show, because this is so
I didn't know.
Yeah, scheduled is like just amazing. Both of them are awesome. They both have great LinkedIn presences, so make sure you go follow them because they both put out amazing content. So excited to continue to watch their content. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We're so excited. Thank you so much for Bestway International. Scott, thank you so much for co-hosting. We do want to know, real quick, let me pull this up from Chris. Chris said his goal is to find a company with a culture that is awesome. If anyone is interested in connecting, please reach out. Chris, we love that. Tons of people watch this show. Sarah said Lake Charles is on her list thanks to Mike. So if you got good travel places for Michael to go, Michael, I grew up in Granby, Colorado. Go check it out during the spring. Winter. It's very
Spring. Heard.
Woozy says, great energy and attitude from both of you guys, and it was so great to meet both of you guys. He's going to start following you. You guys make sure you guys go follow them. Thank you so much. And hopefully next week we will be celebrating a Chiefs win when we see you next. And get ready for this whole city to be all about the Chiefs brand and maybe catch you at the parade. So, all right, we'll see you next week, guys. Go Chiefs. Bye.
Wave at the camera.